Tonight, an Arctic blast and a winter storm just ahead of the holidays. A U.S. Navy fighter jet shot down over the Red Sea, apparently by friendly fire. And the wild police chase. A truck smashes into a crowded mall on one of the busiest shopping days. We'll begin with the forecast. Bone-chilling weather for much of the country and a winter storm making its move from the Great Lakes to the Northeast. Will there be a white Christmas? And how will it impact holiday travel with millions hitting the road this week? The rare and serious accident in the Red Sea. A U.S. Navy fighter jet shot down apparently by friendly fire from a U.S. warship in the Red Sea. The two crew members ejecting from the jet, the latest on their conditions. And tonight questions, how could something like this happen? Mayhem at a mall. Police chase a pickup truck straight into a crowded shopping center on Super Saturday. The officers then opened fire, killing the suspect, and multiple injuries reported. Also tonight, the Teamsters expand their strike against Amazon. Just days before Christmas and Hanukkah, the question on everyone's minds, will my package get there on time? What the company and the strikers are saying tonight. Danger from the skies, the terrifying scene as drones fell into a crowd during a holiday light show. A 7-year-old was hit and seriously injured. The investigation to what could have caused this. Skiers stuck for hours when a ski lift malfunctioned. The painstaking rescue at a popular resort, more than 150 people evacuated. Shocking allegations. Blake Lively accuses a co-star of sexual harassment on the set of their film It Ends With Us. Lively also claims he started a smear campaign to ruin her reputation. A chip off the old block. Charlie Woods makes his first hole-in-one, and his dad, Tiger, couldn't be more proud. And an unforgettable Christmas. At 75 years old, a man suddenly discovers the family he never knew he had.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us on this busy Sunday. I'm Rachel Scott, in for Lindsay Davis. Several developing stories as we come on the air tonight. Defense officials are scrambling for answers, and that friendly fire incident in the Red Sea. A U.S. Navy cruiser mistakenly shooting down one of its own. But first, millions of Americans are on the move with just days to go until the holidays. We are tracking a fast-moving winter storm. Will it make for a white Christmas? What could it mean for the millions of people who are expected to travel for the holidays? TSA already expecting record-breaking numbers, but most travelers will head to their destinations by car. ABC meteorologist Somara Theodore leads us off. Samara, time this one out for us.
Rachel, well, we anticipate this bitter cold to stick around through at least tomorrow before regulating in time for Christmas. Winter weather advisories have been issued and continue to expand for states like Michigan, Wisconsin, and even into parts of New England for Monday and Tuesday. That's because we're tracking a snowstorm that will bring snow to Chicago and Detroit by Monday evening. That then moves into upstate New York and western Pennsylvania early Tuesday morning. And by about 9 a.m. on Christmas Eve, snow anticipated along the I-95 corridor. As far as totals go, some of the higher amounts will be in places like Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, up to 6 inches, and we could see a coating making for a white Christmas potentially in New York City. Rachel?
Samara, thank you. Tonight, the U.S. military is launching an investigation after a Navy fighter jet was shot down apparently by friendly fire over the Red Sea. The two pilots were forced to eject. Both survived, but tonight questions about how a Navy ship could mistakenly shoot down one of its own. Here's ABC's Perry Russom.
Tonight, the U.S. military investigating an apparent case of friendly fire overseas. U.S. Central Command says an FA-18 fighter jet was mistakenly fired on, shot down over the Red Sea by U.S. forces. Two Navy pilots ejecting from the plane, both later safely recovered. One has minor injuries. Central Command says the pilots were hit by fire from the USS Gettysburg. It's a guided missile cruiser deployed as a part of a U.S. Navy strike group. The military has been patrolling the area for more than a year. They're combating Houthi fighters in Yemen, backed by Iran, who have been attacking commercial ships in the waters between the Middle East and Africa. Hours before the plane went down, the military says it conducted precision airstrikes in Yemen's capital of Sana'a, with targets including a missile storage facility operated by the Houthis. During the operation, multiple Houthi uncrewed aerial vehicles and an anti-ship cruise missile were shot down. It's not clear whether the downed plane was part of that operation. Military experts say confusion can happen in combat.
It's important to point out that some of these decisions are just a matter of seconds before they fire at, say, an incoming Houthi suicide drone. So it still should never have happened. Multiple things must have gone wrong for this to happen.
Again, the military says the pilots are okay. They are stressing this was not hostile fire. A full investigation is now happening. Rachel?
Yeah, rare incident indeed. All right, Perry, thank you. We turn now to the terrifying moments at a holiday light show in Orlando, Florida, after several drones unexpectedly dropped out of the sky. A 7-year-old boy was hit in the chest, the latest on his condition tonight, and the investigation now launched by the FAA. Here's ABC's Phil Lipof.
The FAA is investigating how this holiday light show in Orlando, Florida ended with multiple drones falling out of the sky and into a crowd.
I don't think they're supposed to be falling.
Watch as the drones slam into the ground below.
What's happening?
The FAA says several small drones at the Lake Eola light show Saturday night collided, prompting them to launch an investigation where they'll review videos like this, showing one of the drones barreling toward the crowd. ABC News learning a 7-year-old was injured and rushed to the hospital for emergency heart surgery after a drone hit him in the chest. Before approving the drone show, the FAA says it reviews the software controlling the drone, what procedures are in place in case one or more of the drones fail, and how the operator keeps the drones within a confined area using geofencing. Unclear if the agency will go back now and investigate.
After that terrifying incident, the show was canceled. Skydance Elements, who operates that drone show, says it is cooperating with the FAA. Rachel?
All right, Phil Lipof reporting for us. Thank you. Officials have identified the suspect they say crashed into a Texas mall. Authorities say John Darrell Schultz led officers on a high-speed chase that ended when he slammed his truck into a JCPenney store. 5 people were hurt. The youngest victim was just 6 years old. ABC's Zoreen Shaw has the details.
Tonight, 5 people are recovering after a driver attempting to evade police plowed into a Texas shopping mall on one of the busiest shopping days of the year. Authorities say a highway patrol trooper tried to stop a man driving a black pickup truck on Saturday evening, suspecting him of driving while intoxicated. But the driver, later identified as 53-year-old John Darrell Schultz of Kemper, Texas, continued speeding toward the Killeen Mall, packed with holiday shoppers on a Super Saturday. Authorities have confirmed to ABC News the video is part of their probe. Schultz crashing through the glass doors of this JCPenney's and running over people inside. Throughout the mall, confusion and chaos as shoppers ran outside for safety.
Everybody got up from the table, started running to the door, and that's what I did and went out.
A DPS officer at the scene opening fire and killing him. 3 off-duty officers already at the mall also responding.
One was working an off-duty gig for security here in the mall, and the other 2 were off-duty with their families. So that's why, you know, officers who carry guns were off-duty, because you never know what's going to happen.
Rachel, 5 people ages 6 to 75 ended up in the hospital, some of them with severe injuries. Rachel?
Yeah, that youngest victim just 6 years old. All right, Zoreen, thank you. And just days before Christmas, the Teamsters union is expanding its strike against Amazon. They say they represent 10,000 workers and contractors demanding better pay and working conditions. But Amazon says those on the picket lines are not employees. So what's going on here? Let's bring in ABC's Faith Abube. Faith, this is really becoming a war of words. What impact could this have?
Yeah, Rachel, delivery drivers here for Amazon at this location tell me that they have not clocked back into work since last Thursday, choosing instead to be here on the picket lines. They're also losing out on their regular paychecks this holiday season as they tried nationwide to bring Amazon to the bargaining table. The strike has grown this weekend since it started coast to coast at 7 Amazon locations. The Teamsters union leading the effort, saying there are almost 10,000 Amazon workers on the picket lines demanding contracts that offer safer work conditions, higher wages, and better benefits. So far, though, the e-commerce giant has refused to even negotiate, calling this a protest, not a strike. They claim because there is no work stoppage and the majority of the people on the picket lines are not their employees. But Rachel, the reality here is we're just 3 days away from Christmas. The National Retail Federation estimates more than 20% of holiday shoppers spent the weekend busy buying last-minute gifts. But Amazon says the Teamsters union actions will not affect their deliveries. Rachel.
Amazon saying it will not affect their deliveries. Right. Faith Abube on this developing story. Faith, thank you for your reporting tonight. We turn now to that dramatic rescue on a Colorado ski slope. Rescuers using ropes and ladders to save more than 150 people who became trapped when a ski lift malfunctioned. Here's ABC's Melissa Dawn.
Tonight, 174 skiers and snowboarders forced to evacuate after a gondola at a popular resort malfunctioned, leaving them stranded and suspended in midair for hours. Rescuers seen hoisting skiers out of a gondola using ropes.
Joe, hang on!
Winter Park Resort says the gondola shut down at noon Saturday and rescue operations went on for 6 hours. The Winter Parks Resort spokesperson saying this photo posted online clearly showing a cracked piece of metal was part of the malfunction.
We're not sure exactly what caused the failure on the part. So the part has been removed. The new part is being replaced.
This is the first time the lift has been evacuated since opening 6 years ago. Winter Park Resort says the gondola has 75 cabins that can carry up to 3,600 skiers in an hour, taking riders up to about 10,000 feet.
Rachel, luckily there were no injuries reported. Now the lift is closed. It's unclear when it will reopen. Meantime, Winter Park telling me they've ordered a replacement part that's on its way. Rachel?
Right, Melissa, thank you. President-elect Donald Trump holding his first major rally since the election. Trump dismissed claims that Elon Musk is actually the one in charge after the billionaire put pressure on congressional Republicans to reject a recent spending deal. Here's ABC's Mary Alice Parks.
Tonight, President-elect Trump defending his controversial relationship with billionaire Elon Musk after they nearly derailed a deal to fund the government.
And no, he's not taking the presidency. I like having smart people.
The president-elect telling a crowd in Arizona today that Musk cannot be president.
I'm safe. You know why? He can't be. He wasn't born in this country.
With Democrats accusing Republicans of letting Musk set their agenda.
At the behest of the world's richest man, who no one voted for, the United States Congress has been thrown into pandemonium.
Musk, leading Trump's new government efficiency task force, torched an agreement Democrats and Republicans spent months putting together. Instead, Congress passed a skeleton deal to fund the government until March. It did include billions in disaster aid and direct assistance to farmers. But it left out dozens of bipartisan health care and economic policies, as well as Trump's demand to raise the government's borrowing limit. Republicans today pushing back on criticism of Musk.
It's kind of interesting. We have a president, we have a vice president, we have a speaker. It feels like as if Elon Musk is our prime minister.
The chaotic week, a sign of challenges ahead for Trump and the potential limits of his power.
I support President Trump when he's dealing with some of these really tough issues that we have, the economy and the conflicts overseas. But I do have my own mind, and I'm not a rubber stamp.
President-elect Trump also talked foreign policy today. He raised the possibility of trying to seize back control of the Panama Canal. Well, Panama's president was quick to push back, saying that every square meter is in their sovereign territory and that would not change. Rachel?
Mary Alice Parks reporting from Washington tonight. All right, Mary Alice, thank you. Tonight, Senate Democrats say they have uncovered more trips taken by Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas that were funded by billionaire Harlan Crow. The 20-month investigation by the Judiciary Committee states Thomas took a trip on a private jet to upstate New York and also took a jet and a yacht trip to New York City. The committee states Thomas had not disclosed those trips. No Republicans were part of that investigation. Overseas now, we're learning more about the suspect in the Christmas market massacre in Germany as dozens of victims remain hospitalized tonight, some fighting for their lives. We are now learning the name of the suspect. Tom Sophie Burge joins us now. Tom, what more are you learning?
Yeah, German officials confirming the suspect who allegedly drove a car right through this Christmas market when it was packed full of families on Friday night is 50-year-old Taleb al-Abdul Mohsen, who moved to Germany from Saudi Arabia in 2006. Germany's interior minister saying the suspect had, quote, Islamophobic views. The local prosecutor confirming a social media account believed to belong to the suspect, which includes posts that engage in conspiracy theories, is a part of the investigation. German officials saying a motive is still unclear, but said the suspect's psychological state is being examined. Rachel?
All right, Tom, thank you. And back here at home, the real-life drama unfolding in Hollywood. Actress Blake Lively is accusing Justin Baldoni, her co-star in the film It Ends With Us, of sexual harassment. He denies those claims. Here's ABC's Morgan Norwood.
Tonight, actress Blake Lively accusing It Ends With Us co-star and director Justin Baldoni of sexual harassment and orchestrating a PR smear campaign designed to destroy her reputation after she complained about his alleged on-set behavior. According to the 80-page complaint filed with the California Civil Rights Department, Lively says Baldoni made comments including details about his intimate life and criticisms of Lively's weight. The complaint also alleges Baldoni inserted improvised gratuitous sexual content and or scenes into the film, adding none of this was remotely in character or based on any dialogue in the script. It Ends With Us grossed close to $350 million worldwide and addressed difficult themes of domestic violence.
I want a divorce.
But according to the complaint, Sony told actors to instead focus on Lively's character's resilience. While Lively says she followed those guidelines and avoided promoting the film with Baldoni, Lively alleging Baldoni's team spread false stories that she didn't care about domestic violence. The filing also includes messages Lively says showed the alleged coordinated scheme between Baldoni's team and a crisis management expert. One reading, "We can bury anyone." Another saying, "I am having reckless thoughts of wanting to plant pieces this week of how horrible Blake is to work with."
And tonight, Baldoni's attorney calling Lively's accusations completely false, adding the studio hired a crisis manager because Lively was threatening to skip out on filming and promotion. Rachel?
Morgan Norwood, thank you. There's still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Sunday. A garbage truck goes up in flames, and what the driver did next may have prevented a tragedy. And later, a first for Tiger Woods' son, what he did to make his dad proud. Next tonight, police in New York have a person of interest in custody after a horrific attack this morning on the subway. The NYPD released these images of a suspect wanted for allegedly setting a woman on fire in Brooklyn. That woman was pronounced dead at the scene. Investigators say she was sleeping when she was attacked. They do not know if she knew the attacker. Baseball fans tonight are mourning the loss of one of the greatest to ever play the game. Rickey Henderson was known as the Man of Steel. He stole a record 1,400 bases. He also scored more runs and had more leadoff home runs than any other player in history. Henderson died on Friday in Oakland. He would have turned 66 years old on Christmas Day. When we come back, a driver risked her life to stop her burning truck from crashing into several homes. And what a shot! Tiger Woods' 15-year-old son following in his dad's footsteps. To the index now, a garbage truck driver in Yorba Linda, California is being hailed as a hero for preventing a potential tragedy. Watch here on the left. A truck bursts into flames and begins rolling away. The female driver then jumps back into the burning truck to pull the emergency brake. Two other vehicles did catch on fire, but it stopped short of at least 2 homes, and that driver was not injured. Many Americans won't have sugar plums dancing in their heads this Christmas Eve. Instead, they will have visions of lottery riches. The Mega Millions jackpot has grown to at least $944 million. The next drawing is on Tuesday. The odds of winning are just 1 in more than 302 million. And like father, like son, Tiger Woods' 15-year-old son Charlie today teeing off on the 4th hole of the PNC Championship. His shot appears just short, but then it rolls right in. It was his first hole-in-one. It got a big hug from Dad. By the way, Tiger has had 20 holes-in-one in his career. When we come back, one man calls it his Christmas miracle, meeting the family he never knew he had. Finally tonight, what one man is calling his Christmas miracle.
Dixon Hanshaw is about to receive a holiday gift he never expected. This Christmas, meeting his half-sister for the very first time. He has 5 half-brothers, too.
That's what I call it, my Christmas miracle.
For the last 75 years, Dixon thought he was an only child.
All my life, I dreamed about having siblings somewhere.
Just months ago, after learning of a new New York state law, Dixon requested his pre-adoption birth certificate, not knowing he had a large family on his biological father's side.
I didn't want to intrude on people. I didn't know whether they would be happy that I was around or not.
He made that first call to his oldest brother, Gary.
I got a phone call and I didn't recognize the number, but for some reason I answered it. And he says, "Hi, my name's Dixon. I'm your brother." And I'm like, "What?"
Both men in shock. Dixon sent him a photo of himself. Gary shared it with his siblings, and they immediately recognized something familiar, their father's face. Dixon's siblings arranged for him to meet the whole family. 52 people came to the family reunion this weekend. All of them his relatives.
I've never felt such an outpouring of unconditional love in my whole life. This was my Christmas miracle, landing in that airport and meeting my family for the first time after 75 years.
Thank you for watching. Good night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir America's most watched newscast.